job here out in the woods off the Appalachian Trail. Just made a nice little campfire, and I'm going to cook some lunch Sunday afternoon. Temperature's warm. I wanted to talk quickly about the Ontario Afghan Bush series. I bought this knife and made this sheath for it. Really not as a user for me, but just to be able to provide another custom type sheath for any users of this knife. When I received it, I was pretty disappointed. It kind of just looks like another big hunk of steel. But after I brought it out and used it a few times, I began to like it. Now, a little bit about the knife. The specs on this knife are kind of all over the place. I measure it at 9 3/4 inches and 1 3/4 inch belly. It's got a full flat grind, something I'm not used to. After I sharpened it, though, it came up nice and shaving sharp. I'm used to smaller knives, the biggest fixed blade I own. But what I like about it, after using it a few times, is they put a nice finger choil here forward on the knife, so you can choke up to do fine work. And then even back here, because it's only 9 3/4 inches long, it's not really, doesn't have a real big knife feel. I think it weighs in at 11 ounces, a little bit heavier than the knives that I use. But I think all in all, this is a pretty great knife. Now, I did some mods right out of the box. I sharpened it for one. The other thing was the scales had sharp edges, so I just took a file and knocked down these edges, made them rounded off a little bit, and that's all it took. And I think I paid $57 for this knife. It'll definitely be a user. I've been taking it out the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, and I'm really enjoying it. But I can tell you, I've carved with this, I've feather sticked with this, and it does a good job. I mean, it's sharp. Once you get used to the flat grind, most of my knives are Scandi, so it took me a little bit of while to get used to the flat grind and the angle of the blade. Once I did, I was able to work with this knife very nicely. And finger choil is just awesome to be able to choke up like that. I think that really makes the knife. If it wasn't for the finger choil, I probably wouldn't like the knife at all. This is the sheath that I made for it. It's the standard bushcraft type sheath. Holds the knife very well. It's got a fire steel loop size for Army, and just a single belt loop, vertical carry. I may make a horizontal for this. It's not too long. Normally, I don't recommend horizontal carry sheaths for any knife over 10 inches, especially if you're not a big person, because the knife tends to stick out in all the wrong places. But this is, because it's under 10 inches, I think it just might work in a horizontal sheath, so I think I'm going to do that for it. Now, the sheath that came with it was absolutely hideous, and I was going to throw it out, but then I didn't have a sheath for my folding saw, and after looking at this thing for a little bit, I thought, well, you know what? It might just work well for that, and it does. It's got a belt loop here. I can throw it on, and when I'm walking around in the woods, if I don't want not using my saw, I can just stick it in this sheath when I'm out collecting firewood. And so, you know, there's a purpose for everything. And so this will work well for my folding saw. Anyway, the Afghan Bush, I recommend it. The Bush series is a little bit thinner. I think it's 1.8 inches thick. There's the Afghan, which is, I think, a full 1/4 inch thickness, and I don't think I would like that. This is heavy enough. It's thick enough. I'm sure you can beat the hell out of this thing. And for a few dollars, $57, not a lot of money to pay for a knife. It's 1095 carbon steel. Great knife. Anyway, Afghan Bush series from Ontario. Thanks.